Hey, hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome. Hope all of you are able to hear me and hope all of you can see my screen. Can I have a quick confirmation? Could someone please confirm? Wonderful. Thank you. All right. So today what we can do is, as I discussed in previous session, we would like to take up one of the domain, let's say demographics, and we are going to build all the variables that are required. That is, I will supply with raw data. I will also supply with your control terminology, the specifications, correct? The control terminology and as well as my specifications, both of them I'm going to provide. Then we need to build up our entire demo fix. This is our day-to-day work, I can say. If someone given you the SDTM raw data sets, or someone given you raw data sets, how you can systematically convert them into SDTM related data sets or SDTM compliance. That is what you are working on the domain, correct? All right, two things I'll do. Today I will go with some simple data set. Okay, later on I'll also gonna show you this. You can consider as one of your project. So there, there will be interdependent. That is, all the variables may not come from the same domain. You need to work on multiple domains to get your data set or to get your parameters. That we can do later. For now, in a simple data set, most of the variables or most of the parameters you can fetch from the single data set, or parameters are from same domain. That is what we are going to do today. Okay, but for your project it won't be like this. There is going to be information about what is present under what. You can see that this is your unrated CRF. You can see this is the CRF that I'm going to give it to you. This you are going to use it for your project purpose. This is purely for the project, correct? You can see what variables are present in what, even the colors, the terminologies, everything you can see it here. It is going to be a 43-page one, and it is going to give you complete details about what is present under what. Okay, this you can use it later, not today. Just I'm going to show you how it looks like. Okay, and then this is your controlled terminology. Can you see this? For each of the one, what are the variables that should present, right? What are the variables that should present? And then for each variable, what is going to be the variable label? What is going to be a nodes related to that particular one? What is going to be a core? What is going to be a role? What is going to be the type? All these things we have already discussed, correct? The yellow color one we haven't discussed much because these are related to your CRM. But other than that, you can see most of the things are already present, correct? You can see for each of the variable, this data is present, correct or not? All right, let's use this particular one and we can proceed with our data. Let's say for now, we are concentrating on the demographics. I'll also use your implementation guide. Let me go to your implementation guide once. Here it is. It's not here. Just a second. Here it is. So even in the implementation guide, you have the same thing, correct? Suppose if I go to DM, here it is, demographics, you can see these and all the variables you must represent and you must have it in your final SDTM dataset as per compliance. All right. So what I did is, here is what all my variables are. All these variables, all these raw data sets I have uploaded to my SAS on demand. This is nothing but my SAS on demand. Here I have uploaded all my data sets just to make sure all my data sets are present here. All my domain details are present here. So what data set that we are going to work on today? We said that demographics. See, this is going to be our raw data set. It is a raw data set, correct? It is not as per your SDTM compliance. So what you need to do? By looking at it, you need to build up the code. At the same time, the output of your code should be in compliance with your data. That is SDTM data. That is what the expectation is. Correct? So can we go ahead and can we do this particular one? Right? So before going with this particular one, I also want to do something. That is, this is my data set, correct? Now, just use your proc contents just to make sure what are the variables that we have here. So proc contents data is equal to your raw data dot dm. Okay, just give me a moment. Let's run this and see what is the information that you can see here. Right. All of you can clearly see here. This is going to give you the details about what are the variables that are present in my data set and their labels, all of the details also you can see, correct? So I'm trying to copy this particular one and let's see if I can paste it here. Yes, I can. So the reason why I am doing this is just to make sure or just to understand what are the variables that I have here. I don't need all this. Maybe I can just think of these two, just the variables which are present in my data set. And also I'm just sorting this on the variable list. Now you can see. Okay. So from this particular one, can you make any insights what is available to you or what is present and what you need as per your requirements? Can you see this? By looking at it, can you see? Okay, first one hash value, we don't use it. We don't need it also. Correct? We don't need it, right? Then maybe you can also parallelly look the data also. See. So site, the site is looking like your site ID. Am I correct? So from this, the hash value is not required for you. Site identifier. So what is site identifier from your this one, from your demographics? Can I say that site identifier is nothing but it should be a character. It is representing site ID. Am I correct? So I can build site ID from this. Second is it is saying that subject identifier. So this is nothing but your subject ID. So from here you can say that it is nothing but your subject identifier, which is nothing but SUDJ ID. Later we can think of the formats, but first of all we're trying to map it what is required and what we can use of that particular one, right? Then what else is required? Site ID is there. Site visit date, we don't need it. Complete our this is nothing but what is going to be our complete status may not be required for us at this particular point of time. Maybe later we can think of, but I'm trying to understand what is available here. Birth date. So we have birth date, right? Birth date and time in character format. So can I say that my birth date can be made from this particular one or a particular one, right? So I can create two things, one birth date and time, another one is going to be birth date and time in character format, correct? What is the other one? I can also see there is something called race, correct? This is going to be like race other, we don't know, we don't need that particular one. Publisher we don't require, entry user ID we don't require, entry user, day of birth, let's keep them. Day of birth, month of birth, year of birth, race, sex, You can keep both of them because both of them are required for us. This is childbearing potential, we don't need it. Birth control method, we don't need it. Valid, the flag, we don't require. We can see that the remaining all of them may not be required for us. Correct? Murli, why you are looking at it? I'm just trying to understand from the given data set what details I can make it. Correct? I can see that these are the ones at least I can think of. Beyond that, I don't have any other to think. Correct? Am I correct or not? So first, let's go with available data. So what I can do is, I don't want to do any changes to the raw data. So let's keep the raw data as is. All right. So let's start building our data set. Build basic data set or base data set. And it is always, guys, if you want, let's say, Murli, how do I write a program in real time? If someone asks me, I can say that don't ever start your program just like this. Always write the details of your program, right? So first, name, program name, you can also call it as program name. So what is the name of this particular program? Let's say you're going to solve it as DM project.sas. You can write any name of your choice. Okay. A simple description about it will be helpful, right? I can say that description. Why I want to write this particular program? I can say that the program, the objective of this particular program, allow me a moment, just keyboard issue, just give me a second. Yeah, working good. So the objective is to, the objective is to read raw demographic data, right? Raw demographic data and create a SAS data set as per SDTM implementation guide 3.2 guidelines. Am I correct? This is what we are doing. We are strictly going ahead as per the SDTM 3.2 guidelines. That is the description of your program. Okay, created by. Who is actually creating it? Let's say Murali. Created on. So what's the date? The date is going to be 29th April 2022. Suppose if someone modifies tomorrow, you can also give the details about modification history. So under the modification history, you mentioned about who modified and when modified, what are the changes, correct? In addition to that, you can give details about input files. All my input files are actually coming from here. Input files. You can say that it is going to be DM SAS dataset. The path is going to be this. Am I correct? And we can also talk about what is my output file. Output files. Let's say that we are going to create our output file, which is nothing but DM SAS dataset itself, right? But we are going to keep it in a different location. For an example, in the clinical SAS, I have programs, I have raw. Here itself, I'm going to create one more folder. I'm calling that program, I'm not calling that particular file program, sorry, folder as output folder. With to say all my data, I'm going to keep it here, output files. Then this will give you, if some other developer is looking at your program, they have certain idea about what we are doing, from where we are getting the data. These details will be available even to them. That is the reason it is very, very important. Okay. So here I can say that global options. So what is global options? The global options are nothing but at an environmental level, what are the various options that you want to try? Here we can clearly see I'm using no FNTERR, no formatter. That is, whenever you want to convert some of the data from numeric to character, character to numeric, especially when you are having some data with respect to the formats, it automatically provides the formats for them. That is best 12 dot, WD dot, these kind of formatting options it is going to provide to them. Then you are also going to talk about your library definitions. Let's say all your for your entire program, whatever the libraries that you want to define, all the libraries you can define it here. Library definitions. I have already defined one library here. That is my input. Now I'm going to define one more. I'm simply calling it as out. Here is what my output files are going to store. Done. All right. Anyways, this is not required, so I may not to check this particular one. So straight away I go with build SAS data set. So what is my SAS data set? So I can say that data, I can say DM underscore base. I'm calling it as DM underscore base data set. Then set. What is my input data set for this? From the raw library, I'm actually looking at demographics data set. Correct? So just run this as is and you'll see what is the data you have. So I can see 105 columns and I can see 105 rows and 30 columns over there. Correct? You can see hash value. These are all not required for me. So we can drop this later. So first, if I go to my SDTM implementation guide, the very first thing is going to be unique identifier for a study. That is study identifier. I don't see any study identifier here. Correct? So let's define it. So study identifier, from where you can get it? Suppose if this is going to be your CRF, ACRF, and if you go to your first field here, you can see this is going to be a study identifier. And if you scroll right, assigned page cover, the saying that in the page cover it will be available. And also, if you look into the raw origin, it is saying that assigned page 1. So if you go to your ACRF, can you see whatever your protocol details are there? Can I call these protocol details as my study identifier? Am I correct or not? Right? So can I call this as a study identifier? For an example, anyways we are going with this. Let's consider this as a study identifier for now. So study identifier is this. So the first one is done. What is the second one? Domain. So for the domain, even for this particular one, if you have a doubt, I don't know, it is very detailed, but still you can see here. Second one, you can also call it as domain. It is 100% a domain abbreviation. Still, if you want to say it, you can see this in these many pages. For an example, it is saying assigned page 1, 2, 28, all these pages it is available. But for demographic defines, it is going to be DM only. Even the page 1, can you see that? It is going to be DM. There are lot many are there, but demographics it is going to be DM. So let's use that particular one here. All right. What's the next one? The third one is going to be unique subject identifier, right? But unique subject identifier, if I want it, I need it based on my, what is that? It is a combination of, it is going to be a combination of, right? I can go with, what are them? There is going to be a hyphen between them, followed by, it is a combination of study identifier. What is the other one? Site ID. Correct? You can see, you can also see that one here. It is a combination of three things: study ID, site ID, and subject ID. Correct? So now, but if I want to go with this particular one, I need to know what is my subject ID is. So now let's create the subject ID first. So in your Excel or in your raw data set, you can see that there is something which is identifying your subject, which is nothing but your subject. So can I simply say that my subject ID is nothing but just strip your data, that is just remove your leading and trailing spaces, and whatever the data you can see here under the subject, this you can consider as, maybe I can only go with the columns here. Here it is. Just a second. Give me a moment. So now we can see that there may be a chance that there will be leading or trailing spaces. Just to remove them, just make sure we don't have any trailing or leading spaces. I want to ensure that my data is free of them. So I just want to strip that particular one. All right, that is the only thing that I'm doing here. And also you can see that the name of this one, maybe I can take it from here, is subject. Why it is not getting copied from anywhere? Okay, let's type it. It is going to be subject, SUBJECT. Okay, let's write it. All right. Now I can see I have subject identifier. I can see study identifier. What is missing here is site ID, correct? But you can see that in the output, the site ID is also there. It is nothing but your site, correct? So then I'm going with site ID. My site ID is again strip of site. So now I can see I have my site ID, I have my subject ID, and I have my unique subject ID. All of them are available. Correct? There. So whatever is present here, because these are the ones I'm creating, right? Remaining variables I don't want. So I'm just going to use keep statement here. Only whatever I'm creating, I'm just going to keep them in my output, because remaining variables anyways I don't want. Correct? What is required, I'm already creating it. So remaining variables I can easily drop it. For now, if you see, only these are the variables I want to create. So still there are few, I'm just going one by one. Now you can see there is a study ID, there is going to be demographics, your domain abbreviation domain, there is a subject ID, and then what else is there? Maybe at the end, if I, this is the issue with this, but okay, can managed. So now you can see I have my site ID, I have my unique subject ID, everything is available now, correct? And you can see that study ID, and again you need to take care of this one as well, study ID, right? And you can see up to this we don't require any of the changes, but a specific format is not required yet, correct? But from here onwards you can also see that in the control terms, whatever is going to be the control terms mentioned, those formats also we need to maintain. Okay, so for now we are good with subject ID, we are good with unique subject ID, domain, and study identifier. So we also have the site ID also we have entered it. All right, so what is the next one? So 1 2 3 4 is done. Before I start with the dates I'll do little later. Okay, what we'll do is I'll do the dates little later. Okay, so for now what I can do is, before I go with the dates and all, I'll prefer to go ahead with the remaining things. Okay, so what are the remaining things? You can also see here the birth date is available, that is readily available variables. I'm taking birth date time in the character format. This is readily available to us, so let's finish this off. So this is the one I want to create. At the same time, I need to ensure that this is the one which is part of my output. So my birth date and time in character format is nothing but If I look into my output data, let's go with not raw data. Let's go with our libraries. In the work library, we have our DM. What is this? DM base, right? This is what we are creating right now. Okay, raw.dm itself we need to go. Okay, let's go with raw.dm. This is raw. This is your DM, my base data set. So in this I have birth date, but you can see that the birth date is in character format. What is that? It is in a character format. So what should I do now? Can I say that whatever the birth date is there, the birth date is there, first I need to convert that into, let me show you another thing. Yeah, the format is not as per our expectation. So what is going to be the format? The format is going to be, it is, what is the format? Can someone tell me? IS8601DA. Correct? That is the format that we are expecting. Correct? But if you want to apply that particular format, I can apply that particular format only on a numeric variable. Correct? While converting the numeric to character, I can apply that particular one, but it is already in a character format. So what should I do? First, convert my character variable. What is my character variable here? This one. What is that? Birth BRTHDT. 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 It is actually in a character format. This character format variable, I'm actually converting into the numeric. So what is the numeric one? If you see this particular one, what is the format? Can someone tell me what exactly this format is going to be? How do I convert this particular one? So 4 plus 3 7, 7 plus 2 9, 9 plus 2 11. Totally 11 is going to be the no, it is not DDMM by 10. No. Why it is not DDMM by 10? DDMM by 10 format is like this. If I go with DDMM by 10 dot, it is going to be, let's say today's date, if I take 29/04, oh, 2022. So how many are there? 4 plus 4, 8 plus 2, 10. This is what your DDMM by 10 format. But the date format that you can see here is like this. What is this particular one? It is actually like this. This is not a DDMM by 10 dot. Who is this? Someone told me just now. Who is this? Mahipal. Yes. Date 11 dot. It is actually a date 11 dot. Exactly. It is all date 11 dot. So when it is date 11 dot, how to represent it? In a very simple way, if I want to represent, all I can do is, first I would like to convert this into numeric. For converting into the numeric, the format that I would like to apply is date 11 dot. Okay, but if you look into your SDTM guidelines, it must be in a character format and it should be 8601DA dot, right? If I need timestamp, it is going to be DT. If it is not having the timestamp, I can call it as DA dot, correct? So what should I do now? Whatever the outcome that I'm getting, that outcome again I'm going to convert into character format, and the character format is going to be IS8601DA dot. Am I correct? So what I'm doing now, the birth date which is in a date 11 format, which is in the numeric format, character format, I converted into the numeric, and then I convert that into the character and storing, because in SDTM everything is going to be in a character format only. All the dates are in character format. Is it the same date? Can you see that? YYYY hyphen MM hyphen DG. Do you understand this, guys? Generally, we can do this by creating this as a separate variable and we can do, but instead of that, straight away I'm doing this. All of you are okay with that? All right. What are the other information I can do here? So country, there is no information about the country here, correct? You see the raw data set. I don't see any information about the country, correct? So just for our reference purpose, what I'm trying to do is I understand that this entire thing is happening in USA. So I'm just saying that country is equal to USA. There is no need to stick to that. You can put any country choice of your wish. Okay, then I also want to talk about ethnic, because generally ethnic also will be there, right? What is ethnic? What is ethnic, guys? For your reference, I have also opened this particular one. This is our what we discussed in our class, all the details and everything. Ethnic is nothing but ethnicity of your respective country, Latin American, Indian, American, like this. So let's say that either two things you can do. If it is not captured, because we haven't captured this, we manually entering this particular one. Since it is not captured properly, there is no capturing about this particular one. When it comes to ethnic, I can also report this as not reported. It is not present, so I'm saying that not reported. Nothing wrong in that. If it is present in your input data set, accordingly you can enter that particular one. Okay, so now I have country and I also have ethnic. Okay, what is the other details you can see here? I can also see something called, oh sorry, I can also see something called race. Other is different. Let's see, I can see race, correct? The race information is available. See, yeah, here it is. But when I see the race information, the race generally indicates, this rate generally indicates it should be white, black or African, or it is going to be Asian, or if it is anything else, it is going to be others. That is how it is going to be. Even if you can see this particular one here, the race, here is what race of the subject, correct? And you can see some regulations also here. If you want, I can open this. And meanwhile, I can also, oh, this page is moved, no worries. We can go here. It is a DM domain, right? This is the race, right? Here also you can see either you can have your details as per this particular one. If multiple races are connected, you can also do this particular one. If not, if you don't know the race of it, you can just put unknown as well. One option is there. Okay, but here you can also see this one. You can see American Indian, or you have Alaska Native, Asian. Like this, we have the details. All these details are in CRF page 2 for this particular study. You can see here. But in our case, if I go to our case, I can see that either the race is 1, 2, or 4 or 99. For this particular one, your the person who have collected this particular details, right, they themselves, they're going to give the details, meaning notes or considerations. So the considerations here is, let's say for race, while calculating the race, what you should follow, they say that if race is equal to 1, then it is white. What I'm saying, if race is equal to 1, it is white. Then race is equal to 2, then it is, we can consider it as black or African American. If the race is equal to, for an example, it is equal to 3, then it is Asian. Finally, if race is equal to 4 or 99, both the cases, then it is, just mention it as other. So what is that? This is the consideration while you need to calculate your race. So let's use the same here while considering the race, because you can see in the raw data set, the race values are 1, 4, 2, 99 are there. So I'm going to apply the same here. So how to apply it? Can I write a if condition now? If race is equal to the 1, then race underscore 1. I can write anything because I want to have a variable name called race. Only this variable I can use it. So what I'm doing is, for now, if race is equal to 1, I'm calling it as a white. Race 1 is equal to white. New variable I'm creating. Similarly, if race is equal to 2, then race 1 is equal to this. I'll tell you why I'm doing it. If race is equal to 3, then Asian. If race is in 3, 4, 99, any one of it, then it is going to be Akka. Correct? Right? Now, can I say that I don't want this variable, I want to convert this variable as a race. Correct? This variable is a base variable. So what I want to do is, after this particular one, here I will say, see this here, drop is equal to, okay, keep is equal to this. I'll just call it as a race, and then rename is equal to, what I want to rename, race 1, I want to rename it as this. Let's see how it works. I'm trying it. Multiple references I'm using. It should end with an error. That's the reason we're checking this. One error is here. Now try this. Race is here. Ethnic is fine, but race still. Okay. Don't write in single one, then we'll write it in multiple. Maybe next line we can write it. Okay, fine. I'll do this later because I don't want a race to be represented like this, because the race should be like this. It should be character. It should be character, right? So we need to go ahead with that character format. We do that later. Maybe in the next step, I'll do that. Okay, then you can also see that there is a variable called sex. It is also representing as 1 and 2. So again, the considerations. The consideration for sex variable is sex is equal to 1, then male. Sex is equal to 2, then female. These two are the considerations. The same considerations are going to apply here. So what is going to be the thing here? If format also we can use, Mahdi, no doubt in that. We can use it. I'm just going ahead with this for now. We can use it. In the last class, when I'm giving you the assignments, I explained you all the things. You can try anything of your choice. If sex is equal to 1, so what is the variable? 1, 2, 3. So it's supposed to be a numeric. Then 6 underscore 1 is equal to male. If sex is equal to 2, then sex underscore 1 is equal to female. There are two things you need to understand. Both race as well as both race as well as your sex variables must be the character variables. All right. Now you can see both of them must be your character variables. Okay. Okay. What you want to do is, okay, Mohanty, what you are asking me is, if sex is equal to 1, then sex is equal to capital N. That is what you are asking, will it work or not? Right? See, the sex variable here defined as a character. It is defined as a numeric. You can see here. It is defined as a numeric. Even the race is defined as a numeric. So you want to store a character data into a numeric variable. It won't work. The reverse will work. The reverse will work, right? The formatting issues will come again. So just to avoid that, what we do is here we are going to create these two, that is race 1 and sex 1. These two we are going to create. In the next step, we are going to rename them as per our requirement. Is that understandable? All right. Maybe I can also try this, because the rename is going to be the last option that we are going to try. So it must work, but no need. It may like multiple things we are trying at one time, so it may be difficult. So you can see that these are the variables, these are the various things that we want to do here. And if you look into this particular one now, at the end we are going to have race as well as your sex variables. Both of your variables are in the character format. But here there is one thing that we want to take care, specifically when it comes to the race. In the race, if you can see, only black is coming, other is coming, but it is not coming here properly for your black or American African. The length is not satisfying. So what you can do now, for race alone, define the length here. You understand why you are defining the length? Because it is going beyond that particular one, right? So here just mention length raise 1 $30 dot. I'm assigning the length of 30. Then I want to do it. White. Now you can see black or American African is also coming properly. All right. Murli can ask me, Murli, why you have mentioned it here. I just want to go with the same order. So that's the reason I have defined it here. Nothing else. No other specific reason. Okay. So far, all of you are with me, right? I cannot do anything else other than this here, because ARM code, all these are not there, correct? ARM is not there, ARM code is not there, but you can assign it. You can assign it. So we don't know what is going to be the ARM value. You don't know what is the ARM code details. What is the planned ARM code? What is the description of the ARM? You are not sure of that particular one, correct? When you are not sure of that particular one, you can simply give those details as a blank values. Okay, you can do that particular one. So how to do that? I can simply assign these values as the blank values. That we can do later. That we can do later. For now, this is the information that I can extract from my data, and I'm able to get that data here. Okay. The next thing, in your libraries, if you go to your raw data one more time, okay, mm, I'm just looking for one more data set. Just give me a second. Here it is. Can you see rand? So here you can see that for the same subject IDs, you can see for the same subject IDs, you can have the details about, first date. Can you see this? The first date. And you can also see the details about, there should be one more variable here. I'm just looking for that particular one. Yeah. So first date is available here. Can someone tell me what is called first date? I'm going with this particular one more time. And you can see here there is something called RFSDTC. What is RFSDTC? Oh, there are two things actually. This is start and date time. At the same time, you can also see that RFXSDTC. This is nothing but any protocol specific to anything, both of them, correct? Or if you go to my notes here also we can see that particular one. Subject reference start date and time in character. And again, if you scroll down here, this is date or time of first study treatment, correct? If you have any support treatment, in that particular case, these two are going to be different, correct? If the subject doesn't go for any treatment, in that particular case, you can clearly see that RFXSDTC and RFSDTC, both of them are going to be same. So can we calculate this here? This is nothing but your first treatment, and you can also see that here in a very clear way, this is the first date. This is the place where the subject undergoes the first treatment, correct? Because I'm looking for these two values now, RF SPDTC and RFX STDTC. These two values are available in this data set, a raw dat rand. I can also give you these details here. In the code, under the notes, I mentioned that for RF STDTC, that is nothing but your reference start date and time in character format, and RFXSTDTC, these two variables for these two use first date, which is nothing but FARSTDTC, FARSTDT. Use FARSTDT column to get these details. Use column from RAND dataset. So from this RAND dataset, get these details to get your data. So we have clearly given the hint. So what we should do now? I need to go with this particular dataset to get those values. So let's use that particular one, data. I call this particular one as start dates. I can use any names, relevant names, any relevant names I can use it. So start date. So what and where I can get it? From raw data set over random data set. And while picking itself, I need just three details here. What are the, I need just not even three, two details here. What are the two details I required? I don't need all the variables from there. I need only, I'm looking for each subject ID. You can see that it is a subject level. I'm going to join them based on the subject because I don't have anything else here. So subject and first DD, these two are sufficient for me. So SUBJSECT subject, and the other one is going to be my FIRST. Only these two variables from this particular table is more than sufficient. Am I correct? But my first date, this is not in the format that I'm looking for. Again, it is going to be date 11 format. Simply, can I take this particular one now? I simply say that my first date, if I convert that into this, which is going to be my RF SDTPC. And this, the second one is going to be my RF XSDTC. Am I correct? Am I correct? All of you are able to understand this? Can I have a quick confirmation? Right? All I'm just looking at is, I just need to go with this particular one, and I can clearly see I have my first SDTC here, and you can see that it automatically got converted into these two dates. Correct? And also, I just want to do one more thing. I don't want this. After I complete this, I can drop this particular one. And also, I just want to rename my subject as SUBJ ID. That is what we do, right? SUBJ ID, subject identifier. Correct? Because I want to join these two guys. Then only I can get my details. Now, is that clear? I have my SUBJ ID now. I am going to have my start date for both the treatment as well as the other one. Correct? So what I can have now, from the first data set, from the DM base, I have all these variables. Correct? From the second one, from the start dates, I have the remaining two variables. So can I say that now, right? Can I join these two, right? But at the same time, make sure I'm going to write one more thing now. That is nothing but where my end dates are available. Again, if I go to my libraries, my end dates are actually available in the disposition domain here. If I go to this disposition domain, again, I have the subject details. Along with the subject details, if I scroll right, can you see there is something called LDSNDT? This one, LDSNDT. That is FRSDTT, correct? This is LDSNDT is going to be my last date. Or I can say that if I go to this one, study treatment end date and time in character format, or you can also call it as it is going to be my study completed date. All right. So generally this is coming from the disposition domain. Okay. So this one LDSNDT, this is my variable. So the same logic I'm going to get here. I'm going to call them as end dates. All the end dates, I'm going to get it from here. So what is going to be the domain name? Disposition domain. So here I just need to concentrate only on one thing. What is that? LDSNDT. So I can simply replace this here. Subject, again, I'm going to replace it as subject ID. Instead of STD, I can call it as EN here. This one, STD, it will become EN. Am I correct? So these are nothing but my subject end date and my total treatment end date, study end date, and last treatment date. Clear? Easy? So now I have my all my start dates and I also have all my end dates. Correct? So what I can do now, can I join these two? But still we can do one more thing. If you go to my dates clearly, so here study ID, domain, unique subject ID is done. Your investigator ID, investigator name is not there. STD, this one, this one, this one. These four are done. Still I have consent date, correct? Informed consent date is still missing. I have my pending one, correct? These two still missing, right? These two still missing, right? Right? Okay. So first let's go ahead with this confirmed date where I can get this particular one. Okay. So for this particular one, that is when exactly the person has signed it, correct? For this, there is one more domain. Okay, here I need to write this as well. All these are mandatory, guys. Please make sure. I'm talking about this one. This is EN. This is also EN. Use your this one. All right. This column to get this. Okay. So there is one more note that I'm going to provide to you. That one more note is going to be, if you want to get the details about your informed consent date and time in character format, you need to again go to your raw data set, but this time I need to go with this one, INCO data set. In this data set, you need to look at, it is not straightforward. It is not straightforward. I need to look at two different stuff. That is, there is something called CONSDD, this one. This is day informed consent signed. Go there. You can see on which day the person actually has signed. Sometimes you can have missing values here. That is day. Sometimes you can have missing values here. When it have the missing values, make sure that you are not going to use it. Right? That is, if the day is missing, consider there is no consent date. This is consent day. This is going to be consent month. Is going to be a consent month. That's supposed to be year as well. Can you see here? So this is day, this is month, this is year. So what you need to do now? You need to create the date now. There are two ways you can create. Let me tell you this. That is, use these three. What are them? For which one is this? RF informed consent form DTC. Is that right? RF ICD TC. For this particular one, use three variables. The three variables are going to be a CONSDD, CONSDD, CONSMM, and CONSYY columns from INCO data set. Okay, this is the assumption, or this is the consideration. Now these are going to be my three variables, right? So take them here. I'll say that data ICF date, I can call it as a ICF date, easy to understand. Set raw dot what is this? INCO. Okay, what are the variables I required here? Again, I don't want to go with all the variables. So the variables I'm interested here is these three variables I'm interested, because these three are going to form my date. So keep is equal to, see, I'm using keep in the set itself, right? And I also want the subject, right? Then I have this. There are two ways I can do. I can use MDY. What is that? ICF date is equal to MDY of, using a date function, this, comma, this, comma, this. But I told you one thing. Sometimes there is a chance that your CONSDD might be missing. So what is the condition? If this is not equal to missing, then only do this. Am I correct? If this is not missing, then only do this. After that, what we can do? We don't need all these three. We can drop them. After I create them, I don't need them. So drop. What is the other thing also I can drop? I can rename it. This I can rename. So what I'm going to have it in my output now, once I run this particular program, I'm going to have this particular one in MDY format, ICF date in MDY format, followed by, I'm going to have the subject. But remember, this is, I'm just going to tell you here, format this, let's say this is date 9, correct? See this one. First, I want to check whether this is correct or not. Then we can apply the remaining format. For now, let's not drop this. See what I have here. So I have 10th December 2010, correct? Day, month, year. Day, month, year. Is it forming correctly? But what is going to be the format that we are looking at? This is not our format. Our format is going to be, it is actually not actually ISF date also. It is supposed to be my, this one. So how to calculate this? This is equal to, this is my date, right? I can say put of this in IS 8610 sorry 01 DA dot. Am I correct? So now it is going to be in a proper format. Let's see this. Now you can see 2010, 12, 10. This is what our date is. So just to make sure you can understand this, why should I do this? Simply, can I replace this with this? Correct? Directly, month, day, year of month, day, year. I'm just converting that into a character format directly. So I don't need this. I don't need this. Sorry. So I can remove this particular one. I can drop this. So what is going to happen now? Simply two things. One, I calculated my details directly. See, I'm saying that if CONSDT is not equal to null, I'm not equal to missing, then directly RFIC DTC is equal to put of MDY of all these three. So now you can see I'm going to have only two variables in my output. Easy. Subject ID and RSDTC, RFIC DTC. All of them are done. What is missing here? One of the date variable that is missing is this. What is this? Pending. So for whom I'm going to get this particular one? This is going to be end participation date and time in character. Correct. So what is this actually? If I don't have death details, if I don't have discontinuation details, if I don't have follow-up details, in that particular case, can I say that my RF, your participation end details is nothing but my study completion date? So in that particular case, my study completion date is nothing but this only, right? What is my study completion date now? This is only, right? Correct. So can I consider that my XENDTC or my RFENDTC is nothing but my PENDTC as well? Correct. So where exactly this is available? It is available at the top. End dates we have already calculated. So what we have calculated here, along with this particular one, I can also say that this is equal to this. Why? I can write a note. No death, no dropouts, and no follow-ups. So because of this particular reason, I can say that my pending is also available here. All of you accept that? Now if you come back to this, I can see study ID, domain ID, subject ID, subject ID, and these two are not there. My investigator details are not there. If I want to provide, I can provide the details directly here. Under the base, I can mention that my investigator ID is equal to, let's say, DM111. My investigator name is equal to, let's say, someone called Donna Hay. Can I include them here? Done. So all of you are able to understand what I'm trying to do here, guys. Anyone, any questions, please tell me. You understand, right, what I'm trying to say here? From my DM mobile, DM domain, I'm trying to do all this. So these are all available now. These are all available now. No death date and time. It is not available. I'll simply call it as. So here itself, I can say death date and time is missing. I don't have it. I can simply call it as event character format, right? I can simply put the double quotes also here. And also something went wrong. Here. So another thing is going to be, I don't have depth flag details. Generally, these details will be coming from the other table. It is not there. So I'm simply calling it as a blank. Birth date and time, it is already there. We calculated it, right? What is the next one? Age, age U. These two we can calculate, right? How to calculate age? Age U is nothing but age units. So we all know age units is going to be in years, correct? Which is years. The permissible values are going to be years. So directly you can use them here. Age U is equal to years. And age calculation you already know. Can someone tell me what is going to be the age calculation? If you go here and if you search for age, here I have already given that. RFIC DTC minus birth date. But RFIC DTC is in a different table. But if I want to calculate that, I need to join them. Only after the join, I can do this. Am I correct? So let's have these details up to this. Right? Age we can calculate later. Let's format your code. My code format is also done. Let's run all the details up to here. I'm closing them and I'm rerunning them. Right. This is your base. Two things we need to change. I need to rename these. We'll do the renaming. This is end dates. I can see end date, TC, pending DTC. These three are here. ICF date is here. Start dates are here. What we need to do now? For all this, subject ID is common, right? So can we make a join directly now? Right? So let's make a join. So I'm just want to use the merge. If you want to use the merge, I need to make sure that all of them are having the properly sorted or not. I need to check. So proc sort data is equal to DM base by what? Subject ID, SUBJ ID, and run. What is the second one? I also need to do ICF dates. Then I also need to work on start dates and end dates. This is end dates. I just need to do one more. That is going to be ICF date. So only 4 data sets, right? All the details are in the 4 data sets. If you want to check here also 4 data sets, just sort them directly. Done. After sort, can I make a merge now? So what is this is going to be? Can I say that my DM final data set? Correct. I can say data DM or DM merged. Still we need to do some calculation. So I'm just calling it as DM merged. Okay. Merge on what? First is going to be DM underscore base. That is the first one. This I can call it as in is equal to A. Then I'm going to have something called my what is the other one, guys? What is the other one? I can say start dates, which is in is equal to B. Then I have end dates, which is in is equal to C. Then again, I have the final one, ICF dates, which is in is equal to T. Correct? And what I'm going to do this? I'm going to do this by subject ID. Irrespective of whether I have the matches or not, for everything, I need to ensure that if A, I'm just going with the left join to making sure I'm getting all the details. Correct? Run. Now you can see use subject ID, birth, race. Here we can also do a few things. The race 1 and race 2 are there. No? We also can rename them. So how to rename them? Rename race underscore 1 is equal to race, and what is the other one? Sex underscore 1 is equal to sex, and also drop them. Drop race underscore 1, sex underscore 1. At a time we can also drop them. So let's do this. So now you can see I have subject ID here. Then I'm going to have my site ID. Then I can have my unique subject identifier. This already we calculated previously. Birth, date and time, my country, then ethnic, followed by investigator ID, investigator name. There is no death, date and time details is not available. So start date, your treatment start date, and your study start date, treatment end date, study end date, your what is the last one? I forgot the name of it. Last one. What is the name, guys? Sometimes I'm feeling difficult to recollect it. This one. End participation, end date and time. All these we have done. Correct? Is anything missing here? Death, date and time. But death flag is missing, na? Some error. Let's see. Sorry. Oh, it is already renamed, so I don't need to drop it. Fine. But guys, some flag details are missing. That's what I feel. Country, DTH, DTC, DTH, FL, age units. Where are these? This is merged only, na? 17 columns are here. Maybe we should run this one more time. Let's see. Oh, in the keep, I haven't mentioned it. The keep, I haven't mentioned it. These 4 details are there, right? Up to DTH, DTC is there, depth flag, and age units. I haven't mentioned them here. That's the reason these are not part of that. Okay. So let's do this one more time. Now you're supposed to see this is DM base, this is DM merged. In the DM merge, I can see depth flag as well. Perfect. Age units also there. What is still missing, guys? What is still missing here? The other one, that is, I can call it as a final. In the final, I'm going to write the remaining details. So what are them? I can say data DM underscore final set DM underscore merged. So here I need to do the calculations on age. So age is equal to, what is the formula for age, guys? Here we have written it already. Your informed consent date minus your birth date divided by 365.25. And if you look into this here for the age, it is a number. Correct? So let's go for it. Done. What else is still there? And if I come back to this again, if I look at the list of variables, we have covered most of them. As per my understanding, these are all done. This is also done. Birth date, age is also done. Country, ethnic is also done. These site ID is also done. ARM code, these 4 details is not there. Along with this, DM, DTC and DMDY details are missing. I don't have any ARM code details. Correct. And if you look into this also here, ARM code is required. ARM is also required, and your these two also required. Correct. But they have not mentioned here, so we assign them. Right. Let's say that everything went as per plan. So So arm is equal to, let's say, drug A, then arm code is equal to DA, my actual arm. So it went well, so no issues at all. In that particular case, just a second, I can say that this value is nothing but actual arm is also a drug A, correct? Then actual arm code is also DA1 because everything went as per the plan. There is no change in the planned versus your actual. So everything went well. Okay. So up to this is fine. So still what is missing? Age we have calculated right now. So site ID already done. DMDTC and DMDY. Correct? So how to calculate DMDTC, guys? Any idea? Here you can see DMDTC, date and time of collection, right? So how to calculate this? Generally the collection will happen, this is nothing but the collection will happen during the screening only, correct? So when the person has come for the screening, that date itself we can call it as that date itself we can be call it as what is that? DMDTC, right? For in our case, let's consider that the collection happened at the time of consent only. Here itself we can write it here. Consider the collection will happen, or collection was happened during consent form signature collection. This time itself the screening also completed. So what I can say now, this is equivalent to my DMDTC. Is that correct? Or let's say that consider the collection was happened 1 week prior to ICF date. What do you mean by that? The collection happened 1 week prior to the ICF date. So can I calculate this now? So now whatever the date on which my collection happened, my ICF happened, from the ICF date, my this one is 1 week prior. Can I calculate this now? So DMDTC is equal to intenex of how many number of days? Day, comma, my consent date, where it is? Here it is. My informed consent date, I need to take 7 days prior to that. Can I say this is the one? But if I want to do that, my RFICTDC is already in a character format. So what I need to do now? First, I need to convert this into input of this from which one? Let's say the same format I can use it. Let's try this, guys. And the whole thing, whatever you got, I just put format for it. Format DMDTC. I just apply this particular format to check the value. Guys, are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? Is it heavily loading you? No, right? Now DMDTC is here. You can see, and you can also see your RF. This is 10. From 10, 7 days prior is 3rd. 16, 7 days prior is 9. So are we able to calculate now? Yes. So can I say that the same one, I can also say this is put of this whole thing, comma 8610 DA. So what happened automatically, we are calculating this, right? Maybe I can do this particular calculation right after this. Guys, any questions? Are you able to understand what I'm trying to do here? All I'm doing is I want to calculate this one, that is your DMDTC. The DMDTC is actually 7 days prior to my informed consent date. That is the reason I just took 7 days prior to that particular one. What happened to the age? Age is not working. Invalid numeric. Oh, all these are in characters. We need to convert them. We need to convert them. This RF SDTC is in this format, right? Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you. Let's do this. This one and also this one. But the first one is going to be your informed consent date. This is the one. This is anyways correct. The second one must be RF STDTC. Oh, no, no, this is birth date. Sorry, it's birth date. Where is this birth date? Yeah, birth date and time in character format. Now it should work. That's the reason it was showing before warning there. Still age here. If you want, we can do the round off. We can do the round off, or we can also do the seal of it. Correct? Seal off this. So for an example, now this guy is 76.8. Let's see what I'm going to get there. 77. Correct? A proper round off. Or if you feel like seal is not correct, you can also go with floor. Floor will give you the next lowest value. Correct? I supposed to get 76 there. Yeah, 76. That is the correct age. Correct? So now what is still missing? Out of all this, DMDY is still missing. What is DMDY? So how to calculate it? There are two ways I can calculate that. How to calculate them? I can say that if DMDTC is greater than your RFSDTC, this is the calculation, else this is going to be the calculation. Can we do this right away? So with that, we are going to be done with everything. So how do we do that? I'll say that if internext, not input of this, which is nothing but DMDTC, is greater than input of RFSDTC, just converting, then my DMDY is like this. Else, in all other cases, my DMDY is equal to like this. Is it greater than or equal to? Sorry, I missed it. On or after? Yep. Wonderful. Some error, some warning. Let's see what is the warning. Warning here. Limit set by errors. So okay, fine. Go to the output data and see what is your DMDY. It is not calculating. Let's see what went wrong. Let's see one by one. Invalid numeric data. We converted it, right? Okay. This also, now it should work. Yes, no errors, no warnings. Let's calculate. And we also discussed that it is mostly going to be negative. Most of the times the value is going to be. So guys, have we completed everything? Now do you understand how to calculate this? If someone provided you a raw data set, how systematically you are going to convert this? Any questions from anyone? And also we told that we are going to upload the final data set into the different one. So what is the output one? Output one is going to be, we want to keep it in the, let's say, for an example, there is still something we want to apply, guys. We haven't applied the labels, correct? We haven't applied the labels. The labels also important because you can see that for everything there is a label. These labels also we need to write, correct? Without labels, it is not correct. So what I will do is I'll write the labels now. Data your out dot your DM. That is in the out data out library. I want to keep it here, right? So what I need to do, set my DM final. This is my DM final. Run. Here I need to write all my labels. Label. Yes. Between this, I have to write it. How to write it? Can someone tell me how to write your labels? For an example, study ID is nothing but study identifier. Study ID is equal to study identifier. Now, what is the next one? Domain. That's it. It is easy, right? Guys, I'll give you a macro later. That macro is going to convert all these automatically, right? So here, unfortunately, it won't show the labels directly. If you are going to use normal SAS EG, you can see that automatically everything will be available there. So similarly, unique subject identifier. So now what I'm going to do is we are going to put like this, and we are going to, if you want, we can also use the same order also. I can use order also in the same way. I can also do that. So like this, we need to write for everything. If you completed, then we are good with your labels also. That is going to be a final data set. So I'm going to give this particular code, and I'm also going to send all your data sets, the three data sets we used here, all the three data sets that we used for this one also. I'm going to send it to you. Kindly use that and make sure you're going to work on this. Any questions? All of you are able to follow? Understandable, guys? Is it difficult, or how do you feel it? We simply go one by one. We haven't made anything or anything complex. We try to go as simple as that, and slowly only we worked on it. Anyone still have any questions, or anyone still not able to follow? Kindly let me know. I'm happy to explain this again and again. But don't say that without understanding you actually understand this particular one. Without that, don't tell me. Anyone, any questions, guys? If questions, I will continue. If not, I can wind up. That's the reason I'm asking. Anyone, any questions? Wonderful. Still, someone is missing today, but anyways, we'll share the recording and we ensure that all of you are able to follow this. All right, I'll complete this and I'll just share this particular code in the WhatsApp group at the same time. Maybe the mail IDs. Guys, it would be okay if you can share all your email IDs to my group or my name, or to email ID, to my email ID, so that I can share it across to all of you at one stretch. Or you can add it to the WhatsApp group as well. Anything which you comfortable, which you feel secure, do that so that we can do it at one stretch. Okay. I'll do it. I'll share it in the WhatsApp group, and I'll just inform Balusar to upload it in the our thing. Okay, that's all for today, guys. If anyone have any questions, ask me. If not, we can wind up the session for today. Okay, take care, everyone. See you, guys. I'll also share you the CO details and other. Start working on it. Right, the same way you need to work on all the things. Make sure whatever is there in the implementation guide, as per those details, it must present there. Okay, bye guys, see you on Monday.